Greetings, humanity, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, I use he/him pronouns, and this is The Frozen Soul, the Monday night story arc in our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head, a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long that they have discovered strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. I am terribly excited to get back to this. My computer died, and so I am now using a new computer, which is considerably faster, but also I'm still learning its language, and so things are malfunctioning all over the place. So do bear with us if that happens. But we're gonna go around and say hi to everybody, find out once again who they are and who they are playing, and we will be starting with Nash. Hello.
Hi, I'm Nash. You can find me at all the places on the internet as Theater Nerd 221. Tonight I am playing Lana, who, well, made a deal, and like she is known to do, that she intends to keep because that's the ethical thing to do. Yeah, yes. I'm excited to see where we go.
I too am excited. No, that's. I think that's going to be fun. I think that's going to be interesting. And now we will head over to James or Jimbeaux. Hello.
Hey there. I'm James or Jimbeaux to my friends. And I am playing Colm McManus, a former Irish football player. Hello, and this is Langston here. A former Irish football player who thoroughly and completely believes that he is on an extended drug trip and that none of what is happening is real.
Absolutely fair. It's a fair belief to have. It's just a delight. It's an absolute delight. And now we will head over to Celeste. Hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Celeste. I'm going to be playing Jay, otherwise known as Jeremiah Gray. There we go. Jeez, why do I keep forgetting? I keep tripping over his name so bad. And I don't know what Jay's been up to be honest with you. I wasn't here last week, so let's find out.
We'll find out. And then finally we'll head over to Rrok. Hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Rock and Roll, and tonight I'm going to be playing Dustin Lint, an artist who has been to the Mad City more than once and is just looking for a spark of inspiration.
Yes. And I think it's just very interesting the lengths to which he has gone to get his sparks of inspiration. We're going to see where things land, I think, with that, hopefully. But before we jump in, you may see us use safety tools from time to time. Like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else. Or like hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. And then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're all still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anybody needs. Just as a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, addiction, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expression of those states squarely in the hands of the players. If you want to see that, and you're in chat, as has just been done, you can type in !DRYHCW, and the Twitch chat will display that. It'll also be showing that periodically from time to time as we go. Finally, please remember we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, last time, a few things happened. We had Lana had been separated from the group and ended up visiting the Necropolis to talk briefly with a nightmare called the Banshee. She didn't actually talk directly with the Banshee because that would, well, let's say that would have produced interesting results had that happened, had the Banshee spoken directly to Lana. But through one of the Banshee's assistants, they worked out that there is this thing apparently made up of dead, regretful voices, this chorus that Lana has been hearing from time to time, and is essentially threatened with the possibility of joining that chorus. But save for the fact that one of their numbers is a servant of the Wax King, and has asked for Lana's help in making his case. Turns out this is this was someone that Lana had previously prosecuted, and who had died subsequently. But also, this person happens to be a servant of the Wax King. So that Lana is now in the position, feeling there was not really much of a choice. Lana took the case and must return to the Mad City sometime within a year and a day to actually to defend this person. Lana was then returned to everyone else who was currently available. So everyone has gone to a diner called the Downfall. Some folks locally colloquially refer to it as Battle Denny's, because it is, as we described it last week, an unholy union of 3 different kinds of diners and a boxing gym. Basically, it's like Denny's in terms of the size of the rooms and the locations and the spacing of the booths and general layout. For some of it, the aesthetic is very much like an old 50s diner that has survived into the 70s and is much the worse for wear. And its vibe is unmistakably that of a Waffle House. And it doesn't hurt that fights break out there regularly, both planned and unplanned. There is a fighting pit, sort of a fighting ring, in this place, the Downfall, in which there were a few matches witnessed. They were brought there by a friend of theirs, Reg, whom they had met during a previous arc. A couple of them, Lana and Dustin, had met during a previous arc. And Reg is currently the short order cook there. Reg also arrived late, and so later on he had to do a fight, basically. But the general premise of the Downfall is you can order as much terrible coffee as you want, but if you want food, you have to fight for it. So they witnessed a couple of battles there. They also ran into a group of individuals known as the Hammer Club, who arrived there, being chased by some kind of nightmare that has a car. We do not know anything about it other than that, or maybe it is a car. I don't know, because 6 of them came in. There was a bit of a disagreement. Colm talked them down, and because knowing how to handle situations like this. Because the rule for this group, the Hammer Club, is no more than 3 of you in here at once. It's a group of awakened individuals who have taken up to, let's just say, a rather serious nightmare hunting hobby. It would seem, led by Allie, whom has been seen in another arc. One who was seen, for those of you who might have been watching on Friday nights. Allie was in that arc and was known to a couple of the individuals there. That group arrived, did not find their target, and as such, they drifted to the battle dennies afterwards, and so they eventually calmed down. Allie was impressed by Colm and decided to just basically add a stake for him to her tab as she leapt into the ring and fought a being known as, where is my nightmare list? Known as the Death Bison. The sort of very sort of a bison-based minotaur, who wears a T-shirt that says "I heart trampling," so there was that. They when they first went in, they witnessed a fight with a being made of stone called the Tomb. Going by that name. Apparently, there are stage names, right? Then Reg's fighting name is Metal Reg, and he came out and he fought. Lana volunteered to fight him, and won. This was a friendly match. This one, and then I believe you took the cash prize, if I remember correctly. I think they gave you 15 wax coins, if I recall correctly.
I wrote it down on my character sheet. But
you don't
yes,
have to
I
know
took
that immediately, but yeah.
I took the wax coins because we always seem to need them and never have them when we need
it's
them.
fair.
So-
It's absolutely fair.
maybe
so-
I didn't write them down, but I have wax coins of some amount.
I think it was 15. If need be, when the time comes, I can. In between
If
times,
the time
I can
comes.
double check. Yeah, should the time come. But that said, we made it past 1 o'clock, and that meant that the city stopped moving, which is helpful. As the Mad City changes during the 13th hour. So that has things have finally fallen into place. Some arrangement. We don't know what the city looks like right now. But they stepped outside. They were stepping outside. They saw just outside that it looks a little bit different. Let me actually open the. Let me open those files so that I can describe things. It helps if you, Jim, it helps if you actually open the files that you need. Every now and then. So yeah, it's like Market District is now, at least it's next to District 13, and some kind of thing that looks like, the outskirts has been built up a little bit more. It looks like there's an arts district, and then some kind of other district very next to this end of the Market District that where there's a lot of very spiky looking buildings. But that said, so as we were arriving, so Celeste was not here last time, and as folks were arriving, I described initially that you folks had arrived at the Downfall. So once you came in through the door, Jay was distracted by something. That basically took his attention away for at least the duration of the rest of that hour. What was Jay distracted by?
I want to say he got some messages on his phone.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe they're from Sophie?
Okay. Let's see. I can do a thing here real quick. I can actually, yes. So, your previous message from Sophie, which was actually, I think it was an email.
Mm-hmm.
Was more sort of a sorry I wasn't there, and then something about glass clock, and that was it. And I guess the question becomes, what kind of message you're receiving now? Yeah, so I think that the yeah, there are a few different ways we can do this. The initial text message is very sort of garbled. It's like a number of symbols. It's kind of like it's kind of like the sort of thing where it's like there are like asterisks and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
There's asterisks and pound symbols and the occasional letter. What is this exchange? What is this exchange like?
So, you're asking what Jay looks like as this is happening?
Well, no, I'm wondering if well, actually, I should specify. What is Jay? How did Jay respond?
In the message?
Yeah, or did Jay respond?
I mean, the first initial message, probably there was some confusion on his part, but if it's from Sophie's number, then he's gonna be trying to make contact. Like, probably like, Sophie, I don't understand what this means. What's going on?
Okay. Have you been texting or trying to call or what?
Just texting for now, given that we were just in 13 o'clock. He doesn't know how safe it would be to try and call her.
Okay.
Doesn't want to give her position away if she's hiding from something.
So how did this distract you for about, or like half an hour or so?
So he probably, like, after the initial message comes through and he starts trying to make contact with her, he starts to think maybe it's a signal issue.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts like doing that thing where he's walking around trying to find a place with better signal.
Okay. So just for this is while the city is shifting, looking around for a better signal. And,
not necessarily like outside of the battle dennies, but like inside of the battle dennies, like going to different tables, like going into the bathroom.
That is safer.
Sorry, yeah. Probably
That-
an
that
important distinction there.
That is considerably safer. Let's see how your signal hunting did. One of the annoying things about this new computer is that I have to reload a window every now and then. I have to reload a tab every now and then because apparently it can't. If I'm away from the tab for too long, it can no longer interact with it. Anyway, he says, just discovering such things.
If you're using Google Chrome, it's a specific setting in Google Chrome that you can turn off.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's something relatively new because in the past, Google Chrome had been such a resource hog for memory that you'll have to reload the pages because then it doesn't eat up a bunch of memory.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, and actually I think I know the setting you're talking about. It's that new thing where it's like, don't give the pages memory while you're away from them. That setting?
Yes, something like that.
That's not what it's called, but that's the, I remember this. Okay. I will go back and fix that setting sometime soon. In the meantime, though, I have more memory now, so perhaps it's okay. So I think that I think that what I was going to say for Jay here is that I'm just curious to see how this signal hunting adventure goes. So I'm going to ask right now for a roll. I'm going to give this a pain of. Let's give this a pain of 3.
Okay.
So we can see kind of what's going on with it.
I'll toss and madness on the pile.
And
A singular. Hey, there we go.
righto.
That's not bad.
I shall roll pain. I have rolled pain. I have no success.
Ooh.
But pain is dominating.
Yes, it is.
No. Success, but with pain. So. You get a text. You will get a text back that says, "Is this Jay?"
Yes, this is Jay. Sophie, are you all right? And before it's not Sophie. Oh, God.
I'm good. This is perfect.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Where are you?
Where are you? And the U is capitalized. Question mark.
Jay answer that. Does Jay answer that honestly? I feel like that's a bad idea, but does Jay know that's a bad idea? Much to think about. Overthinking is written on the wall. It's not called Battle Denny's. It's referred to as Battle Denny's. It's called the Downfall.
Correct.
The Downfall Market District. Can you get here? Are you in the Market District?
me see. Nope.
One word answer to 5 questions. Shit. Well, it was really only 2 questions, and to be honest, no, can't answer both of them. Should I wait here for you? I don't like that he's laughing, folks. I don't like that.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know, I'm not your parent. And then there's a text that afterwards that says, wait, am I? Question mark. I don't think I am.
Seriously, where are you? I'll come find you.
Hard to say, I'm on the track.
The subway?
And there's LOL. And then immediately texting afterward is, it is, quote, LOL, unquote, right? Question mark.
Oh, God. What is happening to her?
Quick, send her a CAPTCHA. Make her prove she's not a robot.
That, honestly, that's been low-key in the back of my mind this whole time, is that this is an AI pretending to be Sophie. Oh, geez, what do I do?
Wait, you're participating in the Turing test?
Oh, man.
You find a turtle on its back. No, wait.
That's the trolley problem. That's a different philosophical.
Oh, really? Is that the trolley?
Well, it makes
The
me think of the trolley problem.
The voice comp.
If you mean laugh out loud, then yes, please, I need to know where you are.
Are you sure?
Yes, I have to get you out of here.
You got things to trade? Question mark.
I'm sure I can come up with something.
Awesome. I'm on the track in the labyrinth.
Okay.
Don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I can try to hang out for a bit.
I'll be there as soon as I can.
Okie doke.
I think it's at this point that Jay like puts his phone down, like, and it's audible, like clunk on the table.
And I think that wherever it is that you are in the, I think roughly at this point, this is when you hear it toll 1 o'clock, and so you kind of we're looking, and you see that you notice Lana's been fighting somebody in the ring. Well, no, you know, not somebody. It's Reg. You met Reg last time that you were here. Lana was fighting Reg in the ring, apparently. Colm and Lana and Dustin have gotten up from their table, or you. So you're completing things. You're sort of moving from where the little nook that you ended up sitting in, or actually standing in. The place was packed. Because it was the 13th hour. You ended up kind of in the corner, sort of wedged behind a booth, kind of getting it. So you're kind of moving out now and back and around the ring and trying to get through the people and across the room as you see Lana and Coleman Dustin kind of standing up, getting ready to head outside. They're not going to leave you here. They notice you approach. I'm going to say retroactively they will have noticed you approaching, so it's not like they're going to leave you per se. But they're heading outside, right? Their indicated body language is that they're heading outside,
right?
And so basically, Lana, Coleman, Dustin, we have now answered the question from last time, and that is that Jay basically just got up and was walking around the room trying to find a signal for most of the time, and ended up in a far corner. That's what's been happening. And now Jay seems to be following you outside, I think. So, what are we doing, folks, at this point? We ended up outside there, and the streets are as I sort of described them to you earlier.
Right. I think as soon as we step outside, one of the first things that Dustin's going to do is start to kind of like look around, try to kind of get a better idea of bearings and see how much the city has shifted during the last hour.
So is there a process by which you do this kind of thing?
So where we are, we can see the center area, right? The central district.
You can see that the
clock tower
between yourself and the central district currently is District 13. You can tell that.
Right.
You've got several buildings between you and District 13, because you're kind of in the middle. When I say the middle, you are on the you're sort of close, relatively close to the you're a few blocks away from the clockwise edge of the market district, and you're roughly in the middle part of that, I should say, the middle distance inward to outward. As far as that goes, so you can kind of see. So like, say if you look to your right, let's say leaving the downfall, and if you're facing clockwise, if you look to your right, you can see a few just sort of over the tops of some of the buildings a little bit, or down the street. You can kind of tell that looks like District 13 looming up above us. And then looming up above that is the clock beyond that. And if you look to your left, you can see several streets down, and there's like another district, you think, that is kind of where in an outskirts district that looks like it's got similar similar building types to the market district, but there are also like colorful banners in that direction. And then straight ahead, again a few blocks away from the clockwise edge of the market district, on the clockwise edge of the market district beyond, there is a district that looks sort of, it's got like darkened sort of dark brown and black colors to the buildings, big sort of pointy spikes, some sort of like metal things. You're not sure if they're sculptures, but they might be. But a lot of sort of metal lattice work on some of the buildings as far as you can tell from this distance. And that's kind of what you see. And then of course in your immediate area, you've got again, you're in the market district. There are stores, little shops, street vendors, that kind of thing. It also looks as though there is a central market district street that's been kind of widened a bit. That seems to have taken on perhaps some of the, you're sort of glancing around, it's like, yeah, there's some of the tents from the bazaar and what have you, or further back down, further into the market district, down in that direction. So some of those have shifted from like the outside street to the inside street, is what I'm saying.
Point of clarification. Last session, the Nightmare Hunters told Colm where they thought the Red Knight was. I seem to remember it being in the labyrinth, but could you confirm or deny that for me?
Yeah, there has been enough indication, whether it was from them directly or not, yes, there have been enough indications of that. I can't remember exactly what they said, but
All right. So
there was something about that, yes.
So Colm will pat Dustin on the shoulder. Right. So how do we get towards this labyrinth then?
That is an excellent question. Jim, would there be anybody that would have like maps for the city that would have updated already?
We have an
Or,
old
you know, like any
one.
kind of central thing?
So you've been to the city long enough,
Right.
that you know that most of the newsstands get maps, but it usually takes like a few hours before they can get new maps in. Generally, depending on which newsstand it is. There are folks who get it faster sometimes. And a lot of that depends on communicating with entities that have the ability to see everything at once. So beings like the Broadcast, whom I don't know if you've ever met, but I'm pretty sure you've heard of them.
Broadcast was in the very first game.
Oh, that's right. You have met the Broadcast. Yeah. That's right. So entities like the Broadcast who can see through a bunch of cameras at once, that's one option. Of course, the trouble is beings with and there are other beings with those powers, sort of seer, people who have the ability to sort of magical abilities to see things. That is, it can get dangerous and or expensive depending on where one goes or how one goes. Sometimes if you're lucky, sometimes so one of your contacts might have a line on it. Hemlock occasionally might be able to. Because you know that she needs to be able to know quickly when there are major changes. It's the thing is that the major changes don't have. If this has been a major shift, which it feels like it probably is, These don't happen nearly as often as the minor shifts, where it's just, like certain buildings are rearranged. But whole districts, like maybe a couple of districts have flipped, but it's not necessarily always like all of the districts have moved around. This feels like one of those cases where all the districts have moved around, so it can be that. It can be tricky. So it just really depends. It just really depends on how you want to go about it and who you want to talk to and what you want to try. The information is obtainable. It's just a question of what you're going to do.
Can we not then just call a cab?
It's not that simple at this point. I have a map.
You have seen cabs around, I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know exactly where we're going. How do we tell a cab where we want to be? Is Lana's thought process by saying it's not that simple.
Well, plus, would cabs already know their way around? Would be the other factor. With the city shifting and everything like that.
Depends on the cab.
We do have wax coins, so like a cab is not out of the realm of possibility.
Seems to me like probably.
There's also a subway, but that just sort of depends on
Hey,
the subway
we've
gets
got
the maps a little sooner, maybe, but depends.
We've
Go
got
ahead.
wax coins now, and may I bring up just for a moment, what was that all about?
Look,
Don't
Reg.
fight Colm, it's dangerous, Colm, but then you jump right in,
I trust Reg.
and you don't trust me.
I don't trust the tomb.
Don't ever do that to me again. You understand me?
Look, I'm sorry. That was maybe not fair. But the tomb would have kicked your butt.
You seen me fight before then.
You don't get a
No.
name like the tomb for nothing.
You don't go as long as I have in bar brawls without, for nothing neither. I've seen plenty of men with nastier names than that go down.
Well then, I guess if we make it out, I have to take another trip to the Mad City. Maybe you could come with me and take on whoever you want in Vandal Denny's.
You see, by the way, as this is happening, the tomb walks out of the downfall. At this moment, just sort of flexing its stony physique for a second, just sort of back and forth, sort of as though stretching. It basically looks like this strange sort of statue made out of granite, but not terribly well made out of granite. It's like made out of granite bricks. So it's vaguely humanoid, and just sort of sighing in a way that sounds again like cinder blocks being dragged across each other. These sort of chains dangling, and just kind of looks around and kind of will look in the direction of the four of you for a second, because it's one of those things. Oh wait, I heard my name. Type deal.
Right.
And
Hey,
he's like,
Jim. So, from where we are, like if we were to go up to the rooftops again, we should be able to, like last time, look out across the city and try and see if we can get an idea of where the labyrinth might be.
Well, yeah, you can at least, if you get up to the rooftops, you would be able to at least see kind of what's You'd get a further view at least. You probably wouldn't be able to see the whole city, but you could at least see what's closer.
Right.
So that's a possibility.
All right. I think Dustin's going to go ahead and start looking for a ladder, and just kind of, when he sees one, just look, and he says, well, we can always go up and we can take a look and see if we can see where it is. Might be the fastest way. And he's going to start climbing a ladder.
Jay's gonna follow.
Oi, gee. You get your phone call then?
Not so much a call, but I got the information. Did I get the information I was looking for?
Oh, they said they gave you a
I
location.
got some information. It doesn't really change anything except I want to move as fast as we can.
Let's go then.
Do you want to elaborate so that we're all on the same page?
Sophie's in the labyrinth. Assuming the one I was talking to was her, which it might not have been. She said she's on the track. I have no idea what that means. I need to get her out of here.
We all need to get out of here, so we'll just make sure that we're 6 people by the end. Or 5 people. I can do math.
It depends on if I'm split or not.
7.
Thanks, Jay.
Up to 8 people just to be safe.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Please keep your arms, legs, and other phalanges in the moving vehicle at all times. Yeah,
So
I
when we
think
get
we're
to
all
the-
climbing.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask Dustin to make a roll for me that will involve roof hunting, hunting for a good
Okay.
spot on the roof that is relatively safe, which is an important question. So this is going to be a pain of it's just turned 1. We'll say this is a pain of 3.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and add a point of madness to that. So,
Good.
just to be sure.
All right, now. Okay, I got 2 successes. You got 4 successes. Let's take a look and see what we have here. Yes, everything seems in order. Pain's dominating, and if I spend a coin to shift anything, then that would not help. I'd have to spend more than 1. Which I might do, who knows, but not for this. I'm going to go ahead and take another coin of despair. So, let's see.
So much despair. So much.
Yeah, we're gonna be in trouble eventually.
Yes. Oh, yes. Let's see here. So, You you are clambering up onto the roof, onto the rooftops, because you had to go down a few alleys to find a ladder. You found a ladder, climbed up. And you climb up there. You're going to see that you've emerged onto you're trying to find a good vantage point, right? And so you find this sort of higher, relatively flat roof. And you can see that wherever you are right now, it looks like there are how do I describe this? Yes. So, around what looks like it's sort of these very large kind of these things. It's weird, right? This place you sort of clamber up onto, because it's like this big flat sort of plane, but with these kind of little towers on either end. These wooden towers on either end on this roof, on either end of this flat plane, that look kind of like giant chicken coop type things. They're sort of like these could be aviaries of some kind. You're not entirely sure. And you're at a point where it's like, okay, I can start to see things. And as you are doing so, you're sort of starting to step out. You will note rather soon that there's this kind of how does one describe it? There's this sort of very still. It's very clear for a moment. You can kind of almost you can see the moon overhead. And you're stepping out and you can start to see some of the buildings. And then there's this loud flapping sound. As there is a view that you think you could get there. There's this spot, right, where you think you could probably get the best vantage point. That would probably be you just kind of have to you see sort of a set of stairs aside one of the closer towers, and it's like if I could just get one or two more levels up, I could see probably everything within a good radius. But there are beings sort of, it seems, moving around, fluttering around inside these towers.
I think Dustin's gonna avoid the towers for right now,
Okay,
and just try to see what he can see of the city,
gotcha.
and see if there's anything that might hint as to where the labyrinth district might be.
Okay. So, as you step out, sort of you have to step sort of close to the edge as this is going on, and so you're looking around, and you can see that yes. So, as you're looking sort of inward toward the clock, you see District 13 with all of its mighty sort of big sort of square buildings and ductwork all over the place. You can see the Market District stretching out for a bit behind you, or yeah, one could say, or around you. As the Market District, you see the far end of the Market District a little bit, the counterclockwise end of it, and you see, it looks like, those look like the buildings of the Industrial District way over there, on the other side of the Market District, which you got to see those very recently, so it appears the Industrial District has followed you. The Market District on the outside, in the outskirts, as you can sort of looking off outward, you can see it looks like this sort of arts looking district. It's got a lot of sort of interestingly shaped buildings. There's a certain amount of Art Deco going on with it, but also buildings that are sort of like triangular, and buildings from different eras, but they are buildings that are more of artistic expressions, buildings designed to look like things, designed to look like other things. And kind of to its counterclockwise edge, you can see also alongside the Market District, there are much more boring looking buildings that there's a lot of sort of brownstone kind of buildings up there. There are skyscrapers, a few skyscrapers over there, but not a lot of them. Trying to look on, and as you look further, you can see counterclockwise. You can see clockwise of you, clockwise of the Market District. You can see down into this. It looks like a kind of a tortuous district. It's almost, because there are like these cages hanging everywhere. It's very dark. A lot of these odd spires. There's a lot of folks looking with their heads down, moving around down there. Very sort of dour. There's a lot of kind of blackened brickwork in there, and there's a lot of neon in places. A lot of very dark buildings in there, and a lot of affinity for it's almost there's like some of the buildings look like they've got these that look like almost haunted house type things almost, and you're trying to see beyond that district. It's sort of the very far edge between where it and District 13 ends. And like you see what could be high, long walls just beyond that district.
It sounds like that might be the direction we need to go in.
Yeah.
I think Dustin's just going to turn around and look at the rest of the group and go, well, I'm not sure, but I think we need to head over into that direction. He's gonna point towards the the high walls. The district that's in between, is that the Shadow District, or?
So you move a little bit closer. You think it's like, okay, and if you're going to focus on it, you're probably going to need to... It's not the Shadow District.
Okay.
But you could probably move along a few rooftops and get a little bit closer if you wanted to see it again from a higher vantage point, to get a little more detail.
No, I think I've made up my mind. So, yeah. I'm just going to indicate that, that appears to be where we need to go. And, just going to pause long enough to see whether or not anybody disagrees.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
On the leader.
Dib's not. I'm not the leader.
Not it. 1, 2, 3, not it.
And so with that, if there doesn't seem to be any disagreement, I'm gonna head back over to a ladder and start climbing down, and try to get over there, streetwise.
All right. As you
instead of going across the roofs.
As you're all sort of just returning, you're starting to climb down. You notice you narrowly avoid this very large hawk swoops by with someone on its back. That sort of flapping around, and they're carrying a lance that's aimed at someone else in another hawk who's coming from the opposite tower.
Wait, they're giant rock jousting?
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
They're not quite as big as rocks, but more just very large hawks. And so, needless to say, you probably want to get off this roof very fast. At this point. And so you certainly climb down the ladder. And you head down a few side streets until you come out. You all at a point. You're in roughly the middle part of the in the middle of the clockwise end of the market district, right? And as far as where you're emerging from, so there's you come out under this archway to the market district, and you see this street is got a few vehicles going back and forth across it. There is no crossing here necessarily. I mean, you could cross if you want to go against traffic. That's absolutely doable. So you could cross, as there are sort of cars, sort of odd. Some of them are art cars looking things, and some of them, again, cars from all different eras going back and forth between here and District 13 and here and the district on the outside. That's a little bit busier than a vehicle around here would be. But you see across from you, again, there is a labeled entrance to this district across from you. And apparently the district across from you is the Pain District. This big iron gate that says Pain across the top of it.
Does not sound inviting.
Maybe it's just French for bread?
An additional I.
French bread district.
Yeah, the French bread.
No, bad.
Yeah.
A lot of you, bad.
It's the arts district, probably.
Definitely don't enter that district unless you have a lot of dough.
I'm gonna need you to stop.
Whatever we're doing, we should stop loafing around here.
I was gonna say things are
Probably.
rising to a new level.
I suddenly feel as though this is the time for something to attack. I'm starting to get that feeling suddenly.
What direction are we moving right now? East?
Oh, hey. Let me see if I can find the right music for this.
Alright, so as we continue on past the
Where's the
pain
battle
district,
music? Find that.
This was going delightfully.
I'm going to start talking about my philosophy on puns in a moment if we're not careful, and no one wants that.
no.
Anyway, we're moving past the pain district, all jokes aside.
In what way would you like to move past the pain district?
Very careful.
Yeah.
Are you trying to go through it? Are you trying to go around it?
Around.
Yeah. My vote is for around.
Probably not a good idea to go in there.
Okay.
Probably.
Really, it's probably just a picnic, you know.
Oh yes, I'm sure it's all fine. You see people staggering around in there. They're also wearing. They're wearing a lot of them wearing sort of dark colors. A lot of people wearing leather in there, black leather. A lot of people wearing. There are people wearing latex. There's other people just wearing regular cloth type clothing.
Reminds me of a club I met my first wife in.
Jay has just this expression on his face and he just starts walking.
Do you want to go around on the outside or the inside of the city?
Outside is my vote.
Outside is going to be the longer way around, though. I suggest we go on the inside.
Or do you want to go
It'll take
under?
less
You can
time.
try to hop on the subway if you want. There are subway entrances nearby.
I don't want to be eaten by a train.
But they're so friendly.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Well, it wasn't the train that was eating.
Lana just heard man-eating train, and that's the only thing that stuck out in her mind.
To be fair, it's the being is called a train eater. So that could be interpreted a few different ways. It's,
Yep.
So you think the train goes up and shows up and does a little choo-choo then?
We're all gonna die. This is gonna be the last episode because of all the puns.
Well, we certainly
Never the puns. It's always the delivery. But go ahead. Keep digging.
So let's go.
Although, it's possible we could just hop the subway and take it all the way to the Labyrinth District.
That sounds like possibly the safest option I've heard all night.
Nothing.
Unless there's something that I need to know about the subway.
Eat fresh.
Look, I'm sure it being a train in a tunnel, it's completely phallic, but I don't think that's something we have to worry about so much.
I need you to stop talking. Cannot afford to be thinking that way right now.
You liked it well enough before.
This is different. This is different. This is different.
Yeah, all right then.
I need a clear mind.
Well, you're not going to get that around here, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, let's... I think Dustin is going to start looking for, like, an entrance to the subway.
Okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's see. So, you want to? Are you moving more? No. But my question is, are you looking for a subway entrance more sort of in an direction or an outward direction? Are you moving more inward or more outward as you're looking for as like in toward the middle of the city, out toward the edge of the city?
Right. Towards the well, we don't really know what side the labyrinth is actually on. So, and aren't there's connections in between the inside and the outside tracks. So I think the first thing would be is whichever one is going to be the closest.
Well,
because once we're down inside the subway station, we can try taking a look to see what the maps might show.
one can attempt it. I will say, when you went down before and the maps were updated pretty quickly, I will say you were in the subway stations that were directly under the grid, which is another of those entities that has the ability to update pretty quickly. Here in the market district, who knows? But you can always go down and give it a shot. So
yeah,
you are you're roughly equidistant from, like I said, from the inside or the outside of the market district, as I said, where you emerge. So it's really up to you which way you want to go.
I'm thinking inside, towards the center of the city.
Righto. So within the market district, I assume you're not crossing the street, but you're heading into the market district to get to enter a subway here.
Right.
You're gonna head down, and you will note that there are. So, as you're sort of heading down down these sort of again these sort of brick and cobblestone steps down into this subway station, you will see there's a series of there are a number of turnstiles at the bottom of the stairs. That will let each of you in for a wax coin.
Lana's got us covered.
So you're gonna go ahead and spend 4 wax coins to get in?
Yes.
All right. You do that. You are now within the subway system. As you enter, you notice that there's a lot of traffic, a lot of foot traffic down here. A lot of different people milling about because again it's after 1 o'clock, so people are now starting to try to get back to other places in the city. So this place is kind of mobbed right now as they're coming away from the market district. You've got a lot of people. You have a lot of stalls, a lot of vendors down here trying to sell things in a big kind of open area. There's a big sort of newspaper kiosk in the middle, a circular kiosk, where someone is trying to is trying to sell newspapers and such. There are so you've got a lot of things like that. People selling pamphlets, people selling emotions, that kind of thing down here. The current maps on the wall, you're not sure if they are current, because they all look old and faded.
Well, we have a copy of the old map. Could we
You do
compare it
actually. You
to
do.
the
So yeah,
one-
comparing it is the old map that they still have up
Okay.
on the wall right now. They have paper maps here. But you can see there are basically from this area, sort of wide, sort of the undermarket area. There are paths that can take you further down in one direction or another, but and then there are stairs going down that you can go to hop on the blue line if you wish.
Well, is this where we're going?
Let's see here. I need to pull up the subway map again. I was looking at it a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the blue line.
Yep.
Blue line used to go to the labyrinth.
Yeah.
Used to.
We
One
can
thing
only
you-
make
Yeah, go ahead.
make 3 mistakes, or otherwise we run out of wax coins. I guess 2 mistakes and then go the right way.
That's if we don't. That's if we get off the train.
Out of the subway, yes.
Yeah. I mean, if we can't really, like if the maps haven't updated, we can always try writing it to, take it in one direction and go ahead and see if we get there. And if we don't, then we can always try taking a look at the map that's at that station.
Maybe by the time we get there it'll update. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Or hoping?
Hoping.
I'm down.
I don't think there's another way forward, so yeah, let's go for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Moving ahead, full steam.
Yep.
All right.
That was a train pun, Jim. Full steam ahead? A steam
That's
engine?
That's a boat.
Full steam ahead is usually used in reference to ships, but
Yeah.
it, in theory, could technically.
Yeah.
refer
This
to
is
okay.
electric. This is an electric
Steam
train,
engine.
basically. Probably.
Okay.
Actually hard to know.
Fine.
Desperate to not make a pun.
Or
It's okay.
or just not interested in trying to reach for one. Anyway. No, you'll see that. So you have 2 directions you can go in from here. Obviously, you can take the blue line counterclockwise, or you can take it clockwise.
I would say in this case, most likely try going clockwise
Okay.
and see.
All right. So you head across to that side, and you see basically folks coming down to get on these trains, these rail cars that show up. It's kind of like, again, it's this big sort of rectangular metal cars, not unlike New York subways, that are going to pull in. As you see folks getting on, getting off the subway train. You want to be in where roughly on the train do you want to go when it arrives? Do you want to be near the front, near the middle, near the back?
Middle is fine with me.
I That's good.
Middle is perfect.
Okay. You you head toward the middle, and as you are kind of you're moving up, sort of toward the middle, you toward the platform. You can see actually that you can see actually that let's see. Yeah, why not? You can see that the standing on the platform, all amongst a few other people, like a couple of heads taller than anyone else. You see the tomb again, who's here waiting for a train. And it looks like he's going to get on the same train that you're on. Do you try to actively avoid getting on the same car, or are you getting on the same car with the tomb?
I don't think we have a adversarial relationship with the tomb.
Might be a little bit awkward if he thinks we're following him, but I mean, we can just explain.
Yeah.
No, we just happen to be going in the same direction. It's one of those things.
You kind of, you see he, you try to sort of get in at different points on that train, and he sort of will, and there are a bunch of people, so, you know, that also, they're kind of trying to avoid him, so he gets his own entry to the train largely unchallenged. He steps on, he's at kind of the back end of this car as he sort of steps on, and everyone avoids him, and you come in, spilling in sort of in the middle door to the car, as people are sort of spilling in, and you see him kind of like sit down, taking up a couple of seats near the back of this train, and he's like, he sort of looks up and he kind of sees you for a second, the four of you, and he sort of is like, and then the people sort of come in between you and him for a moment. You can still see him back there, but it's like he recognizes you folk again, because from having passed him on the street before. But the doors close, the train takes off, and pulls into, go through tunnels. It's sort of dark on the outside. There's a lot of sort of moving back and forth. The four of you probably, did any of you try specifically to grab seats, or are you okay standing?
Okay, standing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just stand.
Standing, yeah.
Yeah, standing's fine.
Yeah, standing is a more likely scenario right now, just given everything. You're sort of standing there, holding on to the little triangles, and the train slows down as it's starting to come into a station that is probably underneath the Pain District. The reason why you're able to determine this is not only because it's logical, but because they're like metal. There's all this metal lattice work of the station that you're pulling into, and you see if some people get off, but then you see that as the doors open, there's a little bit of a commotion outside, and you see these sort of larger, bulky, reddish individuals. There's a couple of them sort of bright red with horns, and carrying what looked like cattle prods. And they're flanked by a couple of these sort of what look like very large bird people in cloaks. They actually have these long sort of black feathers and beaks that people are again getting out of the way of. And those individuals are storming toward this train car. And you can see that they're racing forward with a look of determination in their eyes, as it appears that they are perhaps on the hunt for something. And I think we're going to take this opportunity to go to break. I will throw an interview up here, and we'll be back in a little bit. We'll see you shortly. Welcome to the break. I have Lindy here to talk to us a bit. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming and having a little chat with us.
Thanks for having me.
I just wanted to sort of dig in and find out. You do quite a bit of RPG streaming and what have you nowadays, yes. And I just wanted to find out what started the whole thing. How did you get into tabletop gamery?
So as of now, I'm an addict, but it started. One of my coworkers said, "Hey, do you want to play a D&D game?" And I said, "Yes, I have wanted to for probably a decade now, but the timing has never worked out." And so we had the same shifts. So we had the same days off, so we were able to make a group. I was hooked instantly, and then when I moved to a different state, I didn't have my group anymore, so I went on to Roll20, joined the first random group I saw, and I'm still playing with them 4 years later. And then at some point, I was Twitch streaming video games. It's like, might as well just put the D&D show on there as well, since we're playing anyways. All I'll do is just throw it on OBS. And that's basically what got me started, is me going, might as well try this.
Nice. So what did you start out playing initially? What kind of character?
I started, my first ever character was a half-elf bard named Alora, and it was a very typical bard, but her instrument was the bagpipes, because she was adopted by a dwarven clan. And I loved her. She's very near and dear to my heart.
I think one of the happiest things for me that has come about from the whole being able to play musical instruments in these games thing has been the addition of the bagpipes to the list of available instruments.
Yes, I can't play any musical instruments in real life, so I was like, I'm going to play the bagpipes, the best instrument, as a bard. Also, my DM wouldn't let me have a hurdy-gurdy, so he's like, no, you're not doing a hurdy-gurdy. So I was like, bagpipes? And he's like, fine.
Just the sheer idea. I'm trying to think how that even just as a bard, I guess when you're playing bagpipes, is there
not very stealthy?
It's like because I'm to a certain extent, I seem to recall that when they were used, sort of initially, it was kind of to put fear into the enemy, and so I'm just trying to figure out how that
lots of bagpipes, and she used limericks to dish out her bardic inspiration. So there was much fear had by all.
That's just too good. That's just way too good. But you, I will briefly diverge to mention that I've had like a couple of characters now who ended up with bagpipes, and it was, yes. I think there is one that was that I never played. I played as in sort of an off-stream game where he wasn't even a bard. He just happened. I took a background where he had the ability to play a musical instrument. He was a monk, and so I just based him off that. You seen that heavy metal bagpiper on
yes.
YouTube? Yeah, I based him off that guy pretty much.
Nice.
And he just basically went around being as annoying as possible to people and then beating them up. That was essentially
it works. It's very effective.
But so you got into streaming. It sounds like it was more sort of a natural progression from the fact that you'd already been doing video game streaming and you'd already been doing stuff over Roll20. So what were the first sort of streams you remember doing that were RPG-ish?
We were halfway through the very first campaign I was ever GMing. We were halfway through Curse of Strahd, and I said, no one's gonna watch anyways. We don't have to start a new campaign. We'll just pick up halfway in, and if people have questions, I'll do my best to answer them. But people watched it. I was like, this is weird. Why are people watching this? We've got our gunslinger out here seducing every hag in Barovia, and why are people here? But we had a blast. My goal was just to have fun with my friends, and if people hung out and watched and had fun too, that was just a bonus. So that was kind of just how the first campaign happened. And then after that, I was like, okay, maybe I should make an overlay for this. And the second campaign was Out of the Abyss.
Nice. Now I'm actually not as familiar with what's in Out of the Abyss. I've Curse of Strahd I actually played a little bit of once. But is that what's Out of the Abyss about? If you want to talk about it.
Underdark. You're basically kidnapped and dragged down to the Underdark, and the Abyss kind of ruptures and opens up a bit and starts pouring out into the Underdark, and you're like, oh no, demons! And you have to figure out a way to get the characters invested enough to go back into the Underdark after they escape to slay the demons. In my opinion, not the best module, but I had it. I'd gotten it for Christmas, and so damn it, I was gonna run it. And we had fun, but we definitely enjoyed Curse of Strahd more, I think.
So what approach do you usually take when you start adapting modules for use in your campaigns? Do you just do them point for point, or do you do more of the Cuisinart method? What do you do?
So I read through the whole book first. That's at least what I like to do, and then I go, okay, what is my group just not going to buy into? Because I've been playing with the same group for 4 years now, so I'm pretty familiar with what they're gonna hate and what they're gonna love. So I'll go through and I'll take out anything I know they're just not gonna be interested or not gonna like, and I'll tweak things a little bit and be like, oh, I think they'd think an aboleth in this lake would be really cool. And just I keep the main overarching stuff, and I keep a lot of the same things, but I really only read through it once and then skim just before session, so it's very improv heavy. Even though we are following the main plot and quest line of the book, there's going to be a lot of stuff in NPCs that may not be in the book or have changed severely from the book. We just have fun, so that's what's important.
Awesome, excellent. I think we're gonna talk more about the various different shows that you've participated in a little bit in a separate one of these interviews. But in the meantime, if folks want to find your stuff online, where should they go?
Okay, so they can follow me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Mostly Twitter and Twitch. I'm behind on YouTube, and I have a feeling I will perpetually be behind on YouTube. But all the past stuff's on there for the most part, so check that out.
Being behind on YouTube is a definite mood. I can definitely identify with that, as are, I'm sure, plenty of the folks who watch this channel. But awesome. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Farewell. we have returned. And it is clear that as you have gotten onto this train, these four very, very dangerous looking nightmares are rushing over to your train car, looking roughly in your direction as though they have spotted something that they wish to get after. Some people are trying to get off the train, even seeing them coming, and some are some aren't sure. The tomb isn't moving, doesn't care. What would you like to do?
Looking to see, like, how Lana and Dustin are reacting to this.
So Lana's thought process in this moment is, if I don't look suspicious, they won't pull me over. Well, that's not exactly. Just because they're coming to our train car doesn't mean they're coming for us, is the thought that goes through Lana's head. So as far as you can see, like, outward appearance is, I'm not bothered.
I think you're muted, man.
Like 3 tries on that one. These guys don't look like clockwork cops, right? I mean, they don't look like Toxmen, right?
No, they're not Officer Toxmen. These look like, well, so the two demons. There are 2 demons who look like they probably come from this district, and these 2 large raven people, possibly. Ravens or crows. It's probably. I'd have to actually look more carefully. Raven people. They're wearing these things that are like these sort of black robes that are almost priest-like in a way. And they probably also come from this district, because these look like individuals dedicated to the delivery of pain.
Oh.
One of them, as they're stepping onto the train, you're sort of in the middle, they're stepping on at the front end of this train car. One of the ravens seems to be whispering into this really big, kind of like, it's even bigger than an 80s phone. This big, long metal box, kind of big boxy phone-shaped thing. Maybe a radio of some kind. Just whispering something into it. That you can't make out because there are a bunch of people here and they're milling about and trying to...
They're not coming from both ends of the train car, though, right? They're only coming from one end?
Yeah, they're coming from the front end of the train car.
Okay.
Again, they're at the front of the train car. You're in the middle of the train car.
Right. And the tomb is still in the middle of the train car, right?
The tomb is in the rear of the train car.
He's in the rear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And has not moved.
Yeah, so I think it's more just going to be kind of, Dustin just kind of like presses in up against the side of the train car, not really kind of panicking or anything, but definitely kind of trying to be less observable. It's kind of like, where you slide in behind someone and you just kind of act a little casual, that kind of thing.
trying not to be noticed.
Ride
All right,
casual,
so
but don't look like you're riding casual.
you're all continuing to hang out here, trying not to be noticed, I think.
Yes.
It's
Be
a little harder
suspicious.
because a lot of people have gotten off the train now, seeing them getting on the train. There are still some people here in between you and them, but not nearly as many as there were. Just a few.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
The train doors close. The train begins moving again. They're going to those at the far end. These four nightmares starting to move, and they're going to start moving down through this car, looking at people carefully. So this is going to be, let's see. Let me get my baseline here. Yes. Okay. Given what's kind of going on here, going to be difficult because there's actually something very specific going on here. This is actually, given the circumstances, not even just the value of the nightmares themselves, but given the circumstances here, I'm gonna say this is a pain of 7. And so, who is leading this effort? Is Dustin leading this effort, or is there is the first one, or does someone else want to lead the effort?
To kind of try and blend in with the train car and not be observable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I know that's what Dustin's doing. So, like, if everybody else is like taking their cue from him, then I would say I'm leading the effort.
Yeah. So probably what'll happen is Dustin will be rolling, and anyone who wants to help may do so. But again, remember that those who help will have the results of the roll also fall upon them.
Okay.
I'm helping.
Yeah, I'm in.
So am I.
Alrighty.
Ride or die, baby.
All right.
Could also be ride and die, just given the circumstances. One never knows.
True.
True.
Yeah. And
3-0. So we're at 3 successes.
Mhm.
all right, and I think I'm going to increase my exhaustion by 1. Because I haven't really been using exhaustion lately, so. Yeah, that's good enough.
Alright. So right now you have a total of 6 successes. I shall now roll my dice. 7 pain.
Eek.
I only have 3 successes. You have 3 more than me, which is very good. Let's take a look and see what we have dominating here. Huh. Okay.
Pain again.
Well, right now, Pain, yeah, I feel as though I need to spend, I need to spend a coin of despair here to add a 6. We're gonna add a 6 to, actually, you did not roll any madness, I see. So there is no madness pool. Very clever. Very clever! I will, however,
I've thought about it.
I'd be spending this coin of despair. I just spent this coin of despair to add a 6 to exhaustion. So everyone, please increase your exhaustion by 1, as this is very tense and tiring effort. As they reach the middle, They're looking you all in the eyes. And it's not even... The demons aren't even the worst ones to look in the eyes. It's the ravens. Because it's like you see one big eye, it's sort of looking into your soul for a moment. One of them is sort of reading out of this book. And you can actually see this black text coming up out of the book and circling around him as he's reading. It's, and it's strange because it kind of sounds like English backwards. Or some form of English. Hard to say. But the symbols are... look like they might be letters, and they swim around and they change form. It's hard to know. And they just sort of stop and they stare at you all for a few very uncomfortable moments. And then they move on. As the train is slowing down again. And again, the raven who's not reading out of the book is speaking into this, is whispering again into this big sort of walkie-talkie telephone-like thing. And you can kind of hear him saying, and you can hear them saying, "We smell them. The smell is right. Is it they, those you wish? Don't know. The train slows down as they're looking at the other folk in here before they come all the way down, and they're very close to where the tomb is currently. Not this car. Maybe. And the devils are just sort of, the demons are just sort of like, whatever. Pulls into the next station. The next station, there's black marble. Also hanging cages, so you're still underneath the pain district. This is another pain station. Kiosks with fiery urns burning above them. And for a moment, you see them turn. And you see this, as they're sort of, the doors are getting ready to open. You see the ravens sort of looking out the window. There are people, and some of them looking nightmarish outside the window. A lot of them looking very pale and spiky. These looking toward these dark marble steps on the far end. And Raven sort of, you see as that people are coming down, and you see the Raven just sort of turn and kind of waves a feathered hand as this door opens. And you can see a few tormented looking people getting on. There's people wearing black leather. That some of them might be nightmares, but don't seem to be looking for you in particular. These sort of very pale individuals with spikes coming out of their chest. But you see who the Raven is talking to, descending the stairs. And it's a man in a long Victorian coat, wearing a top hat, long dark hair. Face looks scarred, heavily scarred around the eyes, almost sort of yellowish eyes. Kind of looks a little bit like, the visual on this is kind of like, not a lot of people necessarily know this, but there's this famous image of Lon Chaney in London After Midnight, a silent film that the print was lost in a fire. Wearing the top hat and looking ghoulish. And on a leash next to this individual is a shadow hound.
Aww.
And you see with one hand he's talking into another of these big, giant, oversized walkie-talkie things. There is a chance Lana and Dustin have seen this individual before. Unfortunately, Jim is having trouble remembering whether they saw them or not. It's been a while. And I think... Yes. I think it's entirely possible that Lana and Dustin may have seen this individual. Possibly. But it's hard to say. Some time has passed. Who knows? But, you can see...
If I make for the door, are they stopping me? If I, like, make like I'm moving in that direction, like, oh, this is my stop.
No one seems to be stopping you.
Okay. Gonna kind of look at the others, and then look at the door.
Yeah, that sounds like that might actually be a good idea. I think Dustin is going to kind of slowly, very casually start making for the door. Towards the... I mean, they've moved towards the back of the car, right?
Yeah.
So they're
so
if we move forward, we're essentially behind them.
So when you say you're heading for the door, does that mean you're heading out onto the platform?
Correct.
Okay. So, yes, you're heading out onto the platform, but you will see this individual that it looks like they're talking to stops at the bottom of the stairs and is scanning back and forth. And the shadow hound starts slithering forward, kind of making a beeline in your direction. And as he looks at the direction the shadow hound is pointing, this individual sees the four of you.
Aww.
And he smiles with pointed teeth as he looks over and his eyes lock onto Dustin.
Yeah, I told you, we just give him Dustin, everything would have been fine.
Aww.
And he is now moving toward you at kind of an alarming pace. And with one hand, he's bringing out from his pocket what looks like, pulling out from his pocket what looks like a chain, some kind of a barbed chain.
I'm gonna get between him and Justin. Justin. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, Justin is just kind of casually standing his ground. Not like it's not like that defiance, it's not that defiant come at me kind of pose. It's more just kind of like, almost as if he hasn't even like really taken notice of this going on. He's just kind of watching.
All right. So
with a bit of an angry sigh, Colm looks at this guy and says, "Oi, wanker, we're on our way to the labyrinth. You can either get out of our way or show us where it is, or you're in a lot of trouble. I'm tired of this."
He smiles even more broadly, and you hear him chuckle. He's like, "Oh, I do like it when they resist." And he's going to start lashing. He's coming down toward you with this chain, and the pain of this individual by himself is 7.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to say the doors behind you folks are closing as the train is preparing to take off. And so he's going to charge forward. And it looks like he's primarily interested in Dustin, but if anyone wants to get in the way, that's entirely possible. He's also been amused by Colm, so Colm, are you leading this effort?
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
I'm definitely helping.
I would like to use my exhaustion talent of hooliganism.
Excellent. Major or minor use?
Major.
Okay, then increase your exhaustion by 1 before you make your roll. He's coming for you.
And I think we'll toss some madness into this.
Come on, Jay. I know you've only got 2 discipline dice, but to have them both come up bunk back to back, come on, bro.
Wait a minute. So are we attacking this guy? Is that what's going on, or are we?
He looks like he's getting ready to attack you folks. So.
Yeah. Okay.
You're trying to avoid him, I would think. You're trying to avoid his. He's getting ready to lash at you all with a chain. I'm just basically putting that out there.
Okay.
Oh, holy shit.
Is there anything nearby me?
Yeah. So there is a. You can only in only a few steps you can try to get to this. There's a news kiosk that I described before. This kind of circular kiosk. Its sides look kind of made of marble. It's got this urn blazing atop it. Above, there's a sort of an imp behind the counter. So there's that. There are some trash cans. Off to your right, there are a couple of cages hanging down from chains. One of them is occupied. There are, by the way, ways out of here. Like laterally, one can try to run down. There are a couple of corridors. There's also, anyone who wants to try to hop down and run along the, in the train tunnel. There's that too. And of course, there's the staircase between you and them. This gentleman is blocking. So lots of there are things here. There are also people milling about, people and nightmares and what have you.
I would like to point out that because I had a major use exhaustion talent, I currently have 15 successes by myself.
You have 6 exhaustion. You are on the edge.
I am.
Here. Yeah, so we're adding 6 successes to your total.
So that's 15 successes so far.
Good lord. Yeah, you've got 15 successes so far. I am not going to beat this, just so everyone's aware. But if anyone would like to contribute, feel free.
Nah.
I've already tried and failed.
I feel like you're
That's
good.
right. I think this begins with Colm leaping forward, grabbing the guy by the lapels, and just headbutting him mercilessly.
You have 13 more successes than I currently have.
Holy crap.
And I've got 3 freaking 6s in pain. So pain is definitely dominating. I'd have to spend most of my pool to try to change that. So, I'm just gonna take the token. So, yeah, you're gonna do phenomenally well against this individual as he is dashing forward. So you're gonna leap forward and headbutt him. Okay. Colm, you are going to as he is snapping his chain forward, it will get you on the leg.
Okay.
But he is not prepared at all for the threat that you represent currently. I forgot he had a Shadow Hound with him, but it doesn't really matter at this point.
Old storm rage.
He immediately, it actually causes, and this is rare for him, but he actually loses, he loses his grip on the leash as he's trying to bring his arm up to defend himself. But as you headbutt him, you knock him back, and his chain is caught on your leg. He drops it. He pulls a knife to try to fight you hand to hand, but you are going to get the upper hand on this. What does that look like?
Colm reaches down with almost preternatural swiftness, picks up the chain, it wraps around his fist, and the fist goes right into the guy's face.
He's dodging around. He looks like he's surprised and he's almost enjoying himself until chained fist connects to face. And you rock him back into the freaking kiosk, this marble kiosk. The edge of which kind of the rim of the counter on this kiosk buckles downward as he is hurled back onto this, his face bleeding.
And just out of curiosity, comprehension through pugilation?
Ah, so that is a madness talent, so that is a separate roll.
Okay.
Which we'll do that in just a moment.
Okay.
First I will note, so you're putting this beat down on him as this little imp gets up and flutters away from the kiosk, seeing trouble coming. It's this little imp and wearing a little news cap and vest will flutter away and sort of onto a trash can and be like, damn it. Dustin, I do need to point out that the hound, having been released, is coming around and is now slithering in your direction. And it looks like it is this again. I described these before. There's a sort of black flowing shadow, multiple, at least 6 legs, as this thing is plodding in your direction. How would you like to approach this?
You said there's a trash can nearby me?
There is, absolutely.
Okay. Alright. So, Dustin is I'm gonna grab the trash can and wait for it to get just close enough and swing.
Okay. This hound has shadowhounds. Actually, I realized are pretty, are pretty daunting. This is a smaller one.
Okay.
So we're gonna give it a pain of. Well, still, it's not small. It's gonna have a pain of 5.
Okay.
And you're trying to trash can it.
Yep.
All right.
All right, and I'm gonna throw 2 madness at this.
Okay. All right. Got 4 successes. I should roll my 5 pain. I got 3 successes, so you did 1 better than me. Looks like madness is dominating, sir.
Yeah.
Would you like to check? Do you have a box to check off?
Yeah. Flee.
Ah, excellent. Your flight response kicks in, adrenaline pumping, as you very quickly you throw this trash can onto it, and it's like it's not expecting it. The trash can starts rolling, rolling a little bit further down the platform as this thing is jumbled up inside. As it was moving toward you, just rolls past you all. I need not calm. This nightmare's base is 7, but right now, given the circumstances, I'm going to downgrade that to 6.
Okay.
So it's 6 pain right now, because this is a use of your madness talent. How much detail are you trying to suck up from this individual?
So, Colm is still not completely aware that he has this power.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just the only question on his mind right now is how do we get to the labyrinth? This guy might know it, he might not know it.
Gotcha.
I also might get like who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah. All right. So I think for that it's basic information of directions but also perhaps identity.
Yeah.
And there's a certain amount that comes with that, but you'll want to roll at least 2 pain die and 2 pain, at least 2 madness dice.
Okay. Before I roll, I would like to ask the group, would you all be okay with me spending a hope coin to get rid of 1 level of exhaustion so that I don't just go unconscious doing this?
Yes.
I have 1 minor point of order. I do need to mention, and that kind of expenditure, I believe, is something you can only do if you have a second to take a breath.
Okay.
Right now, in the midst of like fighting something, you could use it to affect your successes.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
Never mind then.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
But yeah.
In theory, could we have used one when we were at the battle Denny's?
Yeah. I mean, you absolutely had the opportunity to do that at that point. Yeah.
It would have only been 14 successes. Or
No, it's okay. I'm willing to roll with the consequences because.
okay, I just thought I
Just
would
the way
throw
it
that
is.
out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those things that can only be done while you're able to take a break. Right.
Let's throw a bunch of dice into this.
Sure. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've already got 8 successes. I'm gonna roll my 6. Pain. I got 2 successes, and let's see.
Pain dominates.
Pain's definitely dominating.
Oh yeah.
And I'd have to spend 2 coins to make that something else. Do I want to make madness dominate right now? Maybe. Let me think about it for just a moment.
You'd only have to spend one for that.
No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, yeah, right, I would only have to spend one because there are 2 5s. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and let pain dominate here. So... You have, let's see, I have 2 successes, you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes, you have 6 more successes than I do, which is also still pretty impressive. So there's a lot that's coming in. First of all, does this look like anything in particular, or is this visible in any way, or what does it look like when you're doing this?
I think what happens is when Colm headbutts the guy, there's like a spark between their 2 heads. When it happens. Something that Colm would not notice, but other people would. And it's like, not even like just a quick spark, it's like weird golden electricity flowing between their 2 foreheads for a moment.
I love it!
It's
okay.
Just like when you tap your 2 phones together to do a file transfer?
Yes.
Or I was watching aluminum and steel will create a thermite reaction, and that's what I was thinking of.
So, there's so much I have to tell you now.
This was not a dream.
You were taken for a moment into this. You're going to get so much information right now. It's just going to come pouring into your brain.
Okay.
This is a being who is... You're going to see... It's kind of like, for a moment, like you're standing in the midst of someone's fever dream of the movie Metropolis. Massive factories. Fires everywhere. Smoke belching forth from smokestacks. The industrial district. And a terrible, terrifying dedication to this massive pit of darkness, the emptiness inside of everyone, but also the emptiness that enfolds people, makes them want to just give in and be a shell and not care, the emptiness that kills hope. And this being is a champion of that emptiness. Its right hand you're seeing snatches of a conversation that'll have to slowly become untangled for you later. I'm not going to say the whole conversation right now. This being that you're this nightmare that whose memories you're getting here, this is Mr. Sphinx. You did so well, in fact, you're the only person who's going to get his first name.
Ooh.
Which I will text you now. Oh, I text. I'm going to send you in the Zoom chat. Damn it, I misspelled it. There we go. Yes.
Okay.
Although in some ways the misspelling is appropriate. But no. This is a very old nightmare who's attached to different things over the centuries. But You're not going to get like his entire history here. Although you feel as though you might have access to most of his history if you think about it hard enough. Because it's going to sit there in your brain for a little while.
Okay.
But images pass forward. He is he works directly for an individual, the individual who, he serves the emptiness, and he works for the individual who, in some ways, is the emptiness, Mr. Triplethwaite. They are the prime figures who run the press gang. The press gang, whose job it is to grab people, work them to the bone, rip out their hope, and feed, and actually not even rip out their hope. Doesn't matter. The hope dies anyway. What they harvest is their despair. They feed the despair to the despair engine, and which is kind of it's a difference engine. A sort of nightmarish steampunk artificial intelligence, which helps regulate the movement of the emptiness, this massive pit. So those are the basics. What is he doing here? What's going on? Well, here's the thing. They were chasing someone, and you see someone's, and you see this face of this woman who seems to, it's like she's a waitress of some kind. She was the primary target. That changed. He received orders that he's still pissed off about from Mr. Triplethwaite that was distributed not long ago, little before 13 o'clock, that the new target is Dustin Lint. Everyone was handed these images of Dustin provided to them. Sphinx doesn't know exactly what's going on, but he suspects the broadcast is involved. But there's some kind of odd... Someone traded a favor to... Someone must have traded some kind... It happened very randomly, so he would even suspect... He's going to have to talk to the lottery later. And actually, there's an image briefly of the lottery, whom you've seen, actually. That's the guy with the roulette face in the market district. Because the broadcast doesn't normally subcontract to the lottery, but apparently this was happening this time. So things are shifting around again. He's going to have to bust more heads soon. He's pretty sure. He goes around, he presses people into service. He's trying to grab Dustin to press him into service because someone made a deal that put the crosshairs on Dustin instead of themselves. Possibly this waitress person, whoever that is, was the target. And someone decided, nope, we're going to spin the Wheel of Fate, and the Wheel of Fate landed on Dustin. So the entire press gang right now, their primary target is Dustin.
The waitress doesn't look at all familiar to me, does she?
She does not. This is... If the audience were watching, they would recognize a character from the other game.
Gotcha. Also, does he know where the labyrinth is?
Yes. Because he was out and about. I'm trying to remember where I placed him actually last. He was in the industrial district. Yes, actually. Funny thing. He was in the industrial district. He does not at all necessarily trust this new recruit that they've recently gotten. And you get information about the new recruit, which I don't have to enumerate right now, but for the audience, it's Tyler. from yet another game. And actually, technically the same one. But he sort of went off in a huff and started going around the city in his truck, trying to find, this Tyler fellow was supposed to help them catch this girl, this waitress, Dara is her name. But now apparently new orders. So he was passing by as the city was shifting around, and he saw the labyrinth sink into place right on the opposite end. It's right across the Pain District from the Market District. You all were headed in the right direction. You see flashes of the labyrinth. You see that he's been inside it from time to time. And it is, you get the sense of like going through these corridors, some of them surprisingly domestic looking. It's like being inside sometimes somebody's house or somebody's castle or somebody's, there are a lot of different varied environments inside the labyrinth. Does the labyrinth want something? Yes. Do we know what it is? No. Never. He has never been able to figure out what the labyrinth wants. And it only lets people in if it chooses to. But it definitely wants something. It's hard to say. But he did pass by it in his truck on his way to the Pain District when he got the call that they were subcontracting some nightmares as sort of bounty hunters to try to track down Dustin. And again, the Raven people and the demons show up. The Pain District also has only recently returned, and it is clear. Also, by the way, he knows the Lord of the Pain District. I should point out. So you'll get some information about that if you want to unjumble that.
Okay.
You will see briefly a flash of a winged figure that you saw earlier. The winged demonic figure, blue demon with the long curved horns. That being. That is apparently the one who runs the Pain District. How he knows this is not certain, since the Pain District only just reformed, but probably because the Pain District has been here before. And he has some kind of enmity. Again, we don't have to entangle it right now. He has some kind of enmity with the Archfiend, the Blue Demon. And all of this, but apparently is, he's taking advantage of the fact that this is all very new, and he thinks that whatever the Archfiend is doing, that's their own business. We can steer clear of each other for the right time being, if need be. That's fine. Apparently, they used to work together. All of this comes to you in a single flash over just a couple of seconds as you're finishing laying the beat down on Mr. Sphinx. Thank you all for being so patient while I try to unfurl this. I'm going to ask real quick. Everyone sees Colm laying into this guy who is being beaten kind of to a bloody pulp almost. But right now, you all are free to run in any direction you want. You're in the clear for the moment. Lana and Jay and Dustin. You see Colm doing some serious pain giving in the district of that same name. What would you all like to
dominates.
do? Pain dominates. What would you all like to do?
So Lana's conflicted. She sees that Colm can hold his own, but also she feels kind of responsible to make sure Colm gets out alive.
Colm is bleeding. He doesn't seem to notice it.
Yeah, he's like a barbarian that hit 0 hit points and now is just like fighting through the pain. But Lana also knows if he's thrashing this guy, he's going to thrash her in the moment. Has anyone taken a particular notice to him?
I mean, Jay was trying to help in the initial role, so in my mind, Jay has been stood there like wanting to help, being unable to help, and just sort of like a little deer in the headlights at this point. And I think he's on the verge of shaking that off to try and get Colm to come with. Like, I think within the next couple of seconds, he's about to go try to get Colm and shake him out of it and try to pull him along so that way we can get the fuck out of Dodge. Like, you can see Jay starting to lean in that direction.
So if Lana sees that, I think she will wait for Jay then.
Yeah, I think Jay is at this point going over, like, you know when a friend of yours is, like, fighting someone and you're, like, trying to pull them away because the cops are on the way. Like hands on his shoulders, like, Colm, we gotta go.
I don't have friends like that, but okay.
I don't either. I've seen it in movies.
Okay, fair enough.
Need to take you out more often. Yeah, Colm will definitely like look over, go, all right, let's go, and spit on Mr. Sphinx before leaving.
Yeah, Sphinx is not doing great. He is bleeding all over this newsstand. And almost sort of lowly, you can hear this kind of like. He's laughing. He's laughing. Not at you. Maybe at himself. It's hard to say. And you catch the tail end of this thought. As you, as all of you kind of start sidling away. Start heading away. This thought that Sphinx has, Colm, of you. That this is the most beautiful specimen he has ever fought, and what a wonderful attack dog one would make. I must have this one. He's in no condition to do so right now. I'm sorry.
I know I am. I'm just saying this to myself. I don't want to fucking...
Gotcha.
But, I mean, Jay doesn't hear this, obviously, but, like, the reaction would be, get the fuck away from my man.
But, of course, yes, Sphinx is in no position to do anything to anyone right now. So, what are you all doing?
Labyrinths that way.
I think there's a moment that Lana just questions it and just starts walking.
You all...
Yeah, kind of the same.
You all start moving. You are in roughly the middle of the Pain District. At this point, do you stay underground or do you go to the surface?
Open to suggestions.
Is there an advantage to, like, one over the other? Like, I'm assuming we don't have to deal with regular traffic.
So,
And I would like to think after our it's starting to thin out, but I guess that would be
a little bit, yeah.
a question for you.
Yeah, so a couple of things. How do I explain? Yeah, I'll just say. So underground, there'll probably be will be a way forward with less chance of demonic entities seeing you folks, possibly. Although there's still maybe some down here you might be able to get trapped with, possibly. It's tighter spaces, but it's there are directions you can run in. There are tunnels. The advantage of going above ground is one that's actually more lateral movement is available, and also Holm might be able to recall some of Sphinx's memories of the previous incarnation of this district, which it's not going to be the same layout, but makes it easier to get around. But there was no subway at that time. So that would only be available above ground. But again, that depends on how much one wants to bring that into one's decision-making process. So there are advantages to doing it either way, and disadvantages.
Take a vote.
Well, is anybody feeling strongly? Because I don't think it really matters to Lano one way or the other.
My money's on above ground.
I'm good either way. So if
Above ground.
we're looking at above ground, that's fine.
You dash up the marble steps into into an area. You go back out through the turnstiles, or rather the they're doors that open. There's a separate way out, right? Come up onto the surface by these streets, burning vehicles, racing past with people on them cackling maniacally. These buildings again stacked together from different eras, but most of them are charred and blackened in some way. This district is about pain in all of its forms. But yeah, Colm kind of will remember not specific paths, but like, okay, we want to avoid the red part of this district. We really want to avoid that one. But we can, where the red lights are. And there typically were areas underneath where a lot of the branding was going on that one could go unnoticed. So maybe that'll be the same way here. So just listen for sizzling and screaming. Different little tricks like that. You get one to the district's far end. You're in roughly the middle now. I'm going to call for one more roll. Try to make it safely out of the pain district. At the moment, this is going to be a pain of 4. Who would like to lead?
So before we do the roll, I would once again like to nominate myself to use a coin of hope to get rid of 1 level of exhaustion.
If you would like to take a breather for a moment, by which I mean stop running and get into like an alleyway or something somewhere, like chill, then you can certainly do that.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to just fall unconscious next time I roll.
Fair. If everyone's okay with that,
Yeah.
then that'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
If we can find a safe enough place, yeah.
All right.
I'm going to say you can do that at this point.
Okay.
Where it'll be at least temporarily safe. At least long enough to like be.
And I
Someone is
think that
grilling nearby.
when we find the alley, Cole just kind of leans up against it and starts laughing. He says, "You see that? I put the boot in him."
Yes, you did, my friend.
So don't you ever go doubting my ability to do something like that.
Jay. Okay.
I did not doubt your ability. I did not know the abilities of your competitor.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Jay pulls out his pocket square and just starts because there's spots of blood, and he's starting to clean it up a little bit.
Holmes' leg is bleeding where the chain hit it. And also maybe his hand a little bit because of the it sort of worn through, because again, you've still got this chain, by the way, if you want it.
Oh yes, I kept it.
You've got a freaking barbed whip chain.
That fella deserved it.
He did, but you are horrifyingly reckless.
Did you like that?
Don't ask me that right now.
Oh, I'll save it for later then.
When did these tables turn? When did that happen?
Tom just gives Jay a wink.
We're having a talk when we get out of here.
Hey, if you're real.
I've never not been real.
Hey,
Oh, that's what you mean. You think this is a hallucination still?
or a dream.
Hey, things like this don't actually happen.
Things like this definitely happen.
Oh man.
That's
Oh
just
man.
what a hallucination would say.
Bucket. If you're cool with it, let me know if this is crossing a line. Jay sort of by the front of his shirt pulls him in and kisses him,
Good with it.
and then puts him back against the wall. Real enough for you?
Well, you said we'll have to have a talk later, won't we?
We will. Yeah, we will. Whew.
I have a terrible question I need to ask. Just because, unfortunately, it's the evil GM tendency in me. Home.
Yes.
We do have head-to-head contact happening here, so I'm just wondering if you'd like to use your madness talent.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Excellent.
Because Fulton has no, he doesn't recognize that he's doing it.
So this is going to be... So, to learn... Actually, I also need to say, Celeste, are you okay with this possibly happening?
No, I am. This is a good chest clutch. This is a very good chest clutch.
So it'll be... So this is not going to be too difficult, necessarily, as far as just getting surface stuff. But if you want more, then we'll up the pain. But the pain for this interaction... Yeah, pain for this interaction would be... This would only be this is a very light thing going on during it, and this is sort of an accidental. So I mean, I'm willing to rate this a pain of 2.
Okay.
And actually no, 1. Pain of 1.
Okay.
And this pain of 1, you'll need probably at least 2 to roll at least 2 madness.
Okay. We'll go with 2 madness then.
Righto. I did not get any successes. And I do need to specify, though, that madness is currently dominating. Oh, shit. Well, here we are. This is our bed. We're lying in it.
Yep.
I need to ask you a question now that I actually think I already know the answer to because I looked a moment ago. Home, do you have any boxes left to check off?
I do not.
Okay. So, this is important to note. You're about to snap.
Mm-hmm.
Snapping has happened recently in this campaign to Jay, interestingly enough. So there may be some sort of connective insight there. Snapping. As a reminder, I don't do this exactly the way that rules is written because I like to do this more narratively, and there's also, I think, a more responsible way to do it. And that is that it's you kind of lose it for a moment, but we get a little bit of a preview into the kind of nightmare you might become. and that can be expressed through your madness talent, or what, because it's usually connected.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that, and as we describe this, Celeste, you can help us by letting us know the sort of details. It's not 4 successes. 4 successes kind of worth of details about Jay in that moment. So Colm's going to receive that information, but also James can describe for us what this looks like when he snaps, and we can do this in any order that this conversation seems to make it feel natural. So, what is happening, folks?
I think the very first surface level, right at the tip top of Jay's mind at the moment, is what you just did to Mr. Sphinx. He low-key wants you to do that to him.
See, that feeds in well to what kind of nightmare Colm might become, because the type of nightmare that Colm might become is someone who loses the ability to communicate in any other way than violence. So I think, and once again, I know this is very close to a line, so everyone gets a vote on whether this is okay or not. Colm starts choking Jay.
Where are we?
Okay.
You okay?
You good, Dustin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And Jay's hands sort of like come up to the hand, and it's like there's a flash of fear.
Mm-hmm.
There's a flash of a very sudden flash of fear, because this is out of nowhere. There's been no discussion about this. There's been no like negotiation to happen to lead up to this. So his hands go to the hand on the neck, and he like meets your eye, and he tries to speak and can't. But in his mind, Colm, what are you doing? Colm, stop. Colm, please stop.
Can Colm stop?
If you think so, yes.
Um,
Yeah, as part of this, you recognize that you could at this point recognize that you were snapping.
Okay.
But we're going to get an expression of what this looks like.
Okay. Colm presses his forehead against Jay's, and his fingers it's like he's struggling, but they do release. And he just sits there with his eyes closed, his forehead against Jay's.
Jay takes a deep breath. He didn't quite get to the point of coughing yet, because it was very sudden and very, it was tight at the moment, but then it eased off almost immediately. So he's taking a few deep breaths. He doesn't know what just happened with Colm, but he knows that probably keeping himself calm is the best way to go here. So that way Colm, he can mirror that. He understands a few things about de-escalation. And as their foreheads are pressing together,
I have a couple of questions. I just want to make sure, given the timing here. Does the two questions? One is, does Colm receive any other details from his abilities about Jay?
I was getting to that, but
Okay,
if you have
good.
another question, please ask it.
And the second question, I'm going to state these questions, and then I want you both to keep going. The second question, more toward James, is does anything visually happen? It doesn't have to, but does anything supernatural seem to be happening? Does Colm look any different, at least during this moment, or anything like that going on? Because that's also it's possible. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. All right. Resume.
I'll let Celeste step in first here.
Yeah. And as there's that next layer underneath, a little bit deeper after the panic has subsided,
Mhm.
there's kind of like a, this is nice, I could want this to be a regular thing. And then, like, there starts to be a thought. You get, like, the thought of, this hasn't happened in a long time, the last time this happened. And you start to get, like, a picture of a person, but it's very blurry, very faded out, of another man. And you don't see a whole lot of details of the face. It's like if somebody had drawn a sketch and it's not complete quite yet. Or if somebody had, like, rubbed their hand vigorously over the graphite on the page, so it's faded out. And then a flash of just the deepest possible heartache. And that's as deep as you can probe.
Okay. Colm, as his forehead is resting on Jay's, once again, that sort of golden lightning goes across his forehead, goes down the sides of his face, down into his chest where his heart would be. And he just very quietly says, Sorry.
It's okay.
We need to talk about this.
Yeah. Long talk.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder of the mechanical thing that happens here. You need to reduce your discipline by 1, and you gain 1 permanent madness.
Okay.
And clear out all of your response pockets. They're now
Righty. Cool. Done.
Alright. You are all going to... Possibly this is the moment at which you can start trying to head out, but I do want to check. Dustin, Lana, how are we feeling? What are we doing? You both just witnessed this.
I think for Lana, it brings back memories of her husband, and I think she is very withdrawn and quiet, and probably, like, as far away from what happened as she is safe to do so. Like, she's not gonna run outside, but I don't think she will approach Colm, at the very least. And probably Jay neither.
Dustin has just kind of watched it, because it did kind of go by really, really fast. It was kind of one of those things where it was almost kind of like it was almost over before Dustin could react to it. And I don't think, seeing as how it seems like things kind of settled, he's not going to really make a big deal out of it. But he is going to be keeping a little bit more of a closer eye on Colm.
Okay. So, what are we doing?
Heading towards the maze, the labyrinth, I hope.
working your way out of the pain district. It's just going to be, again, it's a pain of 4. Make your way without being noticed or running into trouble. Who would like to lead the effort?
I'm officially declaring not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Dustin will.
Okay.
Anyone who wishes to may help.
That's good, Santa.
I think Jay's not really in a position to do much helping right now.
Understood.
Kind of a
Actually,
lot on his mind at the moment.
Yeah, Dustin may be doing this by himself just simply because I think everyone's very kind of in their own thing right now.
Emotional damage.
And you've already got 5 successes, so we know you're going to do okay. I got 1 success. And currently pain is dominating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 tokens right now, despair tokens.
Stay the line, Jim. Pain is dominating. Yay!
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna spend 2 despair coins. And I'm gonna put them in exhaustion. So Dustin, exhaustion is dominating. Please increase your exhaustion by 1.
Great.
Dustin, you are able to see your way out. You are all sort of, even walking separately, Dustin is like, okay, given the directions we were looking at before, it should be this. And you're reminded as you pass by a number of different things just sort of in the shadows. People somewhat tormenting each other. People tormenting themselves. Again, people in cages. Again, people doing all manner of different acts and different nightmares, chasing other people. And finally, you make your way out through an archway. And as you see ahead of you, the edge of the labyrinth, high brick wall, running around all the way around this district, the labyrinth. And as you make your way out, you can't help but be reminded, Dustin, of an answer you recently gave. You kind of are looking back over your shoulder and you see soaring above the district that blue demon, its wings stained black. It launches itself onto a promontory looking around. In that moment, you're reminded of the answer you gave to a being that you realize had a silhouette very much like it. That when you were asked what you thought about pain, and in many ways art is pain, and you can see that that being standing atop that promontory finds this entire district very beautiful. I think that is where we are going to end for the evening. Thank you all very much for playing this evening.
Thank you for running.
I have many feelings right now, but before we even do them, I just want to check in one more time. Is everybody doing okay?
That is the wildest thing I think that has ever arisen from me trying to play a on-screen romance. Like, oh boy!
Yeah, that was something.
It was electric, quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways. Damn. Okay. Well, whilst we're slowly trying to either melt or reform or both at the same time, we're gonna go around and do our outros. And feel free to tell folks where they can find you. Feel free to plug anything you like, and let us know any final thoughts you have about this session, favorite bits, or just any love you would like to give anything in particular. But just anything you like, anything at all. And we're going in reverse order, so we're starting once again with Rrok.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rock and Roll, and this is pretty much how you can find me anywhere on the internet is as Rock and Roll. Tonight was another great session. I loved it, man. I had a lot of great time. I thought it was, the subway fight was interesting. The scene right there at the end was very kind of wild and unexpected. It was, it was a good time. Amazing. I love gaming with you and amazing people that we have here.
Yes, and I really like the way Dustin has started to figure out just basically a lot of things about how the city works, and just how and I just like this little bit. He just sort of very calmly, almost zen-like, stood his ground, and then clobbers the Shadow Hound with a trash can. That was great. Very cool. We're going to now head over to Celeste.
What's up, everybody? Sometimes I fuck it, we ball, and sometimes I ball too hard. I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. I don't hardly do any streaming of my own, but you can catch me right here every Monday when we play. I understand that gay disasters are my brand at this point, but it's starting to get a little bit too on the nose. If you're interested in other things that I'm going to be doing soon, definitely keep an eye on the Tales to Inspire podcast. They are in their first season. They are moving rapidly toward the end of their first season, and I am super excited for future seasons to come out. Future seasons, which I may or may not be involved in. So I'm really excited for that. I'm also, I don't really have a whole lot else going on at the moment, but I do want to give a big shout out to Games Done Quick. They are a charity stream that's going on right now. Their biannual stream, the summer half of it, Summer Games Done Quick, is happening right now. It's people who play video games very fast for charity. They're raising money for Doctors Without Borders right now. So if you want to go give them a look, give them some more numbers on their bars, or if you actually have a little bit of money to spare to donate, they always have great donation incentives and even raffles and prizes. So if you guys are into video game swag, you can get some of that. But yeah, it's a great event. I've not ever had the joy of being involved in it firsthand, but I always watch it every year when it comes around. So I'm super excited that it's going on right now, and they've only just gotten started, so plenty of time to catch it if you want to. Good stuff.
Awesome. That I cannot tell you how delightful it has been. Watching this whole thing happen with the just with the way that Jay is relating to everyone, and in particular to this I'm much more invested now, I think, even after this episode, in seeing what happens with this particular relationship.
I can't help it, man. I can't. It's instinctual. It's just a part of who I am.
I mean, fair. I mean, absolutely fair. But we are going to, speaking of this relationship, we are now going to head over to James.
Hey, I am James Silverstein, or Jimbeaux. If you want to find some really awesome, hard-boiled detective fiction that includes necromancy, look me up on Amazon. I have 3 books: Necropolis, The Case of the Scarlet Starlet, and To Wake the Dead. I am currently working on both the 4th and 5th books in the series. I plan on a total of 8. Wow, what can I say about tonight's game? I mean, Colm really got to explode in a lot of different ways. And it was wonderful. I love shit like that happening, both in the fighting and the flirting. There are some parts of it that I am now delving into mentally about what might happen next with Colm. Yeah, this was pretty awesome. Thank you, Celeste, for leading into that as you did. It was awesome. And thank you, Jim, for running. This has been really unique and interesting.
Ooh, I agree. And it's just it's been really fascinating seeing just how when Colm actually it's fascinating seeing when Colm actually gets to dive in and go nuts with things.
Quite literally.
Yeah. Really good. And well, finally we're going to head over to Nash.
Hi, I'm Nash. Right now, I don't have anything else going on but this. Tonight was interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with Lana after how we ended the episode. I think eventually she'll get back to wanting to save everybody. Just might take a second. Maybe not. I guess we'll find out next week.
Yeah, I do hope Lana's okay. That was a lot. And it's understandable.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, I wanted Lana to step in and try to stop it, but I didn't think it made sense for Lana to be the one to try to stop it. So
That's understandable.
I high-key feel bad. Like, really?
it's fine. Lana will be okay. She was a district attorney. Part of her profession is suppressing emotions. It's fine.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, because that's healthy.
It'll be
I
fine.
have a lot of things I could say about that. But I had a lot of fun tonight, regardless.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't wait for next week.
Wow, damn. But yeah, so thank you very much everyone for taking the amount of care that you all do, by the way. For us to be able to be sort of exploring these spaces. And as always, please make sure let us know if we need to back off on anything. And because that's actual safety much more important. But that is why actually I'm glad to have safety tools in place, because it's like, that helps you be able to know sort of areas you can go to. This has been a hell of a night. So, what am I doing? I'm just sort of I'm not sure. I will have to sort that out in my own head what I'm doing.
I believe the kids nowadays say vibing.
I am Jim Ryan, or at least some version of me is. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter, and then also Hive and Mastodon and most other social media platforms. Where I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim, yes, that Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. This coming week, hopefully, I'm going to have Lucci back on Thursday, and we're going to resume playing old text adventures. We've been playing Zork 3. We finally got it started, and we're having fun with that. And then, of course, 1 week from tonight, more of this. It might possibly be the finale 1 week from tonight. Depends on how things go in the labyrinth. So we will see. But we are, either way, we're very close to the end. And we'll see what happens. I can't wait. So when we hit the end card, we're going to go and say hi to somebody. There are a few different options here of folks we can go say hi to. So I'm going to, we'll delve into that after we hit the end card. But feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us if you are so inclined. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.